speaking the truth.
We're taking up space.
Breaking the silence on menstruation.
This is the Red Dot Podcast.
Living first, stay fresh and clean. Nips are lies, you are a queen. Zero shame, oh yeah, shine so bright. Period power, own your light. Period power, own your light.
Hey girls.
Hi.
Welcome to the first ever, most entertaining, most educating girl to girl podcast. I'm Aisha, and with me here are
I'm Flores.
Covenant.
Margaret Mary in the building.
welcome to the
Red Dot Podcast.
Woo! I'm so excited.
a Girls' Voice podcast series where we talk openly and proudly about menstrual health, hygiene, and dignity. In today's episode titled Breaking the Silence, My First Period Experience, we are getting personal. We'll be exploring honest stories from Nigerian women and girls.
Yeah.
What they felt, what they faced, and how they handled it.
Sure.
This episode is about breaking the silence, removing the shame, and showing that you are not alone.
Yeah.
Everybody has a first period experience, and today we are sharing ours loud and proud.
Let's be real. To be sincere, first periods can be confusing,
Yeah.
scary, a cause of panic, or even funny for some. But the fact is that there are many girls that still experience it in silence or shame just because menstruation is still seen as a taboo topic in some homes. Some of us were prepared, to be honest.
Yes,
Others weren't. Some got scolded. Others got support. But today, we're changing that by queuing in some of our adolescents and advocates and community members who will share their #female story, their own first time bleeding, what happened, what they wish they knew, what they were told, and how it has shaped the way they see their bodies.
Wow.
So let's talk about our first menstrual emotions. How we felt. Were we happy, sad, embarrassed, joyful? And who was the first person we talked to? What was their reaction? For me, the first person I talked to was my aunt. I was in my aunt's place when I first saw my menstruation. And believe me, my aunt is not this kind of person that I'm free with. We don't have this connection. Thank you. You understand now?
Yeah.
And the most painful part of it was that I was sitting on her white bedsheet. And he literally stained it. Like, he really stained it. When I noticed it, I just sat down there because I was scared of telling her. What will she say? What will she think? Maybe I've done something wrong. I don't know. So I sat down there. And she sent me to go to the toilet to get something. And immediately I stood up. She saw it. She called me back. And my heart started beating. It was beating fast. Thank you. I was surprised. When she called me, she was not smiling. You are smiling at me. She asked me, what was that? And I told her, Auntie, I don't know. Nobody touched me. I don't know how it came. I don't know where it came from. And she smiled at me again. And I felt relieved. Because, my auntie is smiling at me. It's a very big deal. Thank you. Then she told me I should not be scared. That is normal. It's menstruation. So she told her daughter to give me pad. And they showed me how to wear it. And the most exciting thing was, I did not wash the bedsheet.
Lucky you.
I did not. Thank you. My sister had to wash it for me. So I was really happy. At first, I was scared. And then it led to happiness. It was very, very exciting.
Oh, very
Lucky
interesting.
for you, Margaret. We didn't have to wash that white
At
bedsheet.
all.
Personally, my first period experience was actually one of a kind because I knew what menstruation was before that time. And then on that faithful, beautiful Friday morning, I woke up and then boom. I knew what it was, but I was afraid. I was scared to tell my mom. My mom is not a kind of harsh person, but then I don't know why I was actually scared to open up to her. And that day was a Friday, and I had to go to school. So obviously, if I did not tell her, it would be a lose-lose for me. Then I had to build courage. I had to summon courage. It was not easy. It was not easy. But then I had to summon courage, and then I told her. She scolded me for not telling her earlier on.
Definitely,
But then
she has.
but I actually found out that I actually lacked orientation because I knew what it was actually, but then I didn't expect it to come the way it came.
Yes.
And then imagine me like this, scared of telling my mom the same gender with me. Imagine for people that have only their dads.
Yeah.
Imagine how
They
it
won't be able
was.
to open
Very
up.
worse.
They won't even be able to like freely talk to their dads, okay, dad, unless they are free with their dad initially.
Yeah.
You being the same gender, yeah, your
You
mom,
cannot
then
express
imagine.
yourself.
Yes.
Imagine with a male.
Well,
It's hard.
personally, my own first menstrual experience was amazing.
Hey.
It made me raise my shoulder, you know.
Interesting.
I was,
Senior
you know, it made me raise my shoulder because I had this set of siblings that my other sisters, anytime they were talking about their menstruation, about their pads, and I entered the room, they'll be like, hey, small girl. These
Women
Leave.
talk.
women
I
that
understand.
actually
Don't care.
and I'll be like, what? You see this discussion people are talking about? I must join.
Yes.
Like, I must talk about it one day. So the day I saw my first red dot, I ran to my mom. Mommy! Mommy! See what my elder sisters have been disturbing me about that I should leave the room for them. Finally, when they're talking
You
about it, I
enter.
raised my shoulder. Me too, I've seen.
Yes,
I
there's
can talk
nothing they
about
can
it freely. So my own menstrual experience, my first red dot was amazing and it made me feel proud.
That's great.
That's
Wow.
very nice.
That's very nice.
Very, very.
My first experience was a roller coaster.
Oh
I
my
was
God.
expecting it, but I was not expecting it. I knew what it was, but I did not know what it was. I started a bit late. Most people start earlier, around 12, 13. But I started at the age of 15. So, you know that feeling when every other person is like,
Yeah,
you have not started. I didn't used to see. And I went to a boarding school. So, like, everybody normally relates with each other. We are free.
Yes.
So, when someone is helping you to arrange your provisions, like, you didn't bring any sanitary products.
You.
awkward.
What do you want to say? I think.
I'll just be hooked up there. But then I eventually saw it during the holidays at home. Unfortunately, I was the only one at home. And I did not have any access to any sanitary products. I was just stranded. But all I can say is my first experience was unexpected and unimaginable.
Yeah.
Well, everybody has different experiences.
Yeah.
You were proud,
Yes.
you were scared, and you were embarrassed.
Thank you.
So many different expressions and experiences that we went through. But you said your aunt eventually talked to you. So
Yes.
how did she exactly put you through how did she guide you?
Okay, she did not actually teach me basic things. She just taught me a little on menstruation because she just taught me how to wear the pad. She and her daughter. And they just told me that as I've started seeing my menstruation, I should be careful with the kind of things I do, where I go. I should not tell anybody. Yes. I should only tell my mom and my siblings. Like if anybody asks me, I should not be saying I've started seeing my menstruation. No. So they did not really educate me broadly on that menstruation. Yes, I've been attending workshops.
Yeah.
Like even in schools, like NGOs come to our schools, they teach us how to
Okay.
count your menstrual cycle, how to make use of a pad, menstrual hygiene, and so on. And I also think that in families, they don't talk about menstruation because they feel like it's a shame.
Yes.
They feel it's a disgrace. And most people lack this knowledge because, number one, where you're coming from, there's no proper knowledge about it. Your maybe your mother is like, you are not yet up to the age to know about this particular thing. So I don't think it's totally just the individual's fault. I think it's from the family.
Yes, that's
You're
also
right,
true.
Margaret Mary. In many Nigerian homes, people react differently.
Very, very.
Some celebrate it and others act like it's something to hide.
Yeah.
In this 21st century, some families and culture still sees menstruation as something to be silent about. They fail to understand that menstruation is not dirty. It's not shameful. Neither is it something to hide. They are a part of life. They are literally natural.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very, very.
Girls, what were you told or not told before your first menstruation? Were you taught myth like, don't cook for men, don't touch that woman, don't touch that man? And then how does this cultural belief affect the way you saw your body then and now?
When I was in junior secondary school, there was this girl. She was complaining of stomach ache continuously. It stretched on for about 2 weeks.
Okay.
But we all passed it as regular since
somehow pain.
since nothing happened. Till this fateful day, it was the day of sports. Everybody was out of the classroom, jumping and playing. Suddenly, she began clutching her stomach. And I was sitting beside her, I'm a seatmate. So she began clutching her stomach. We all passed it off as the exact tummy ache that has been going through rehab for the past 2 weeks. But then we noticed that it became worse and we decided to comfort her. What started as silent whispers became escalated noises. She began screaming and shouting. Soon enough, it entered a new phase. She began, I've lost my baby. I've lost my baby. Just like that. She said, look, what's this? God, I've lost my baby. For us to check, because she began rolling on the ground, we saw blood stains at the back of her skirts. And like I said, we did not know at that time. So she's this movie fanatic.
Yeah.
I've lost my baby. The only thing is, I did not get run over by a car. I've lost my baby. In the movies, once your stomach is aching and you're seeing blood, that means you have blood. Someone get me to the hospital. She was just dramatizing everything.
Oh my God.
Our class captain had to rush to the school nurse and get her over. So the nurse talked to her, took her to the clinic, cleaned her up, and gave her the little orientation she needed. If she was not helped by the nurse, who knows what would have happened to him.
Seriously.
And then later on, we found out that the reason is because her culture, where she came from, they don't like talking openly about menstruation.
That's actually
Once you mention it to her as an individual, to her, she will begin covering her ears. Don't talk to me. I don't listen to all that. No, it's dirty, it's nasty. So after the orientation, she became an advocate, telling whoever cared to listen about menstrual health, hygiene, and dignity.
Yeah,
That's nice. Well, I was told by my grandma a certain time when I traveled to my village that if I was being touched on my arm by a boy, I would give birth to a child. And then if I was being touched on my stomach by a boy, I would give birth to 3. I was like,
Physical touch.
Ma, I don't understand. I have 3 other brothers, for God's sake. Like,
You.
how now? Even my dad, when he comes back from work, I have to give him a sumptuous hug as his darling daughter.
That's true.
So if my dad hugs me, that means I'm a mother of
nation.
But like, I guess as time went on, I realized that my grandma just wanted to keep me cautious. That at that point in time, as I've started my menstruation, it was just like a higher tendency for me to get pregnant. Generally, if you engage in any sexual relationship, you get pregnant. But she just wanted to instill this fear in me that, okay, my granddaughter, when you're on your menstruation, don't engage in any sexual relationship. She wanted to keep me off from any sexual, you understand?
Anything boy related.
Yeah.
Personally, for me, mine was cold water. When I started seeing my menstruation, my sister, she said it very strictly, avoid cold water to prevent intense cramps. And I'm this kind of person that love cold water. Come rain, come sun, I love cold water, even the block. And she's not telling me I should avoid cold water. It was really hard. So actually, I did what she said. I started avoiding anything cold, even the water I bathe. I bathe with warm water.
Wow.
The drinks, I make sure they are warm. Sometimes I even boil water and put in my water bottle to take to school. I started drinking warm water. And I noticed that even when I'm picking this warm water, it's the pains and the cramps are still intense. It was just like work done equals to 0. Nothing reduced. I was confused. I thought that this thing that you are saying is not working. It's the same with or without the cold water. It's still the same. I then noticed that I don't really know my body. I don't know what my body needs, the particular time when it needs it. And I didn't notice that it was stress that actually triggers my cramps. Then I started drinking my cold water. I started fully. I did not stop.
You came back.
I came back. Thank you.
No,
I
the
was
truth
drinking
is that
my water.
it depends on the individual.
Yes,
you have to
know
know
your
what they
body.
react to.
That's true.
That was quite unfortunate that you had to stop drinking water, Margaret.
Very bad.
But my other sister, she told me a story of her friend. And then this girl, what her mom told her instead of seeing her menstruation was that do not allow a boy to touch you. She stated this so clearly for her. Do not, under no circumstances, should you allow a boy to touch you anywhere, especially when you're on your period. And then you see, whenever she's on her period, she's always so antisocial and reserved. The girl that is
Just
always
on
a
her own.
vibey girl, and then she's now
Bubbly
so
person.
she's now so and then people are now like, what is wrong with this one? I know there's always this boy in your class that wants there is a dirty
black
one
sheep.
that wants to do. So he now came and then he now touched her. And then it escalated. She was shouting that she was pregnant. She was crying that I'm pregnant already, I'm pregnant. And now everybody were like, what is wrong? What is wrong? She was crying. They had to invite the school nurse. She now had to invite they had to invite the parent, and then they now had their conversation at the administrative block before everything now cooled down. Imagine that kind of embarrassment that she actually faced. And then I actually realized that all these myths, all these cultural myths that are being told to girls, they're actually for positive and negative reasons. Myths like, if a man sees your used menstrual product, is actually a huge taboo. Those myths keeps girls aware of how they dispose their used menstrual product. They actually had some positive effect on them. But then I feel as if as girls, as adolescents that we are, we should know how to filter the weeds from the chaff. Not one that is, when they tell you something, not everything that you just absorb into your body. Know what is good, know what is bad. And then you have internet, AI, ChatGPT is there. Just search which one is true, which one is true, which one is not true. Sincerely, that has to be done by you.
Yes, you are absolutely correct. Research is necessary for us to be able to break the stigma. Now let's talk real challenges. Did you know that in Bangladesh, over 20% of their females know nothing about menstruation?
Seriously?
They don't even know it, not to talk of menstrual hygiene. And about 19.6% of them get married without knowing what it means. They are doing it, but it's surprising. Imagine Nigeria's number. If Bangladesh is already. So let's talk real challenges. What do some of these girls face? What are the hard parts? What are the hard parts? Like, what do they face and how do they overcome it?
Personally, the first thing I actually encountered was the fear of telling someone. My mom used to bite, but then I laugh.
Mommy don't bite.
Mommy don't bite, seriously. But then I was that scared of telling her. I could not actually summon courage to actually tell her. So, but eventually I had to summon courage and open up to her.
Yes.
But then also it was the pain. I knew menstrual capsules. I thought it was just normal stomach pain that you just, my stomach is paining me, and it has gone. But believe me, it is more than that. The pain was actually terrible. It was very terrible, sincerely speaking. And then many people actually face all these kind of challenges. Many girls out there face different things, sincerely speaking.
Well, Flourish, mommy don't bite. Well, it was the embarrassment. Oh my God. As I said earlier, my elder siblings, I rushed, and my sisters, they came. Why are you shouting? Why are you shouting? And I was like, finally, I've seen my menstruation. You people should stop telling me I should leave the room. They're like,
woman,
okay, you feel you're slowly entering into womanhood, or you put the pad. I was like, what? I should put the pad like right in front of, like, I don't understand. I was looking at my mom, please tell my siblings to leave the room, but my mom was not ready.
She was supporting them.
Thank you. My other sisters were not ready to leave that room. They stared at me right there. You must put this pad. You said you're entering womanhood, put the pad. I was like, please. I needed my privacy right then, but they were not ready to give it to me.
That's so terrible. I feel like every girl should have their privacy.
Yeah.
Yes,
thank you. You're entitled.
We are trying to be open about this topic, but it's not everything that needs to be open. We need our privacy to be able to, do our things.
Yeah.
The challenge I went through is that confidence. I lacked it. Because like I said earlier on, I was home alone. Imagine you staying in one position, heavy flow, no movement, nobody to call for help. You are just heavy flow. No, but you are just, that was how I was. By the time my mom came back in the evening, I was like traumatized. I couldn't even talk. I could not go to greet her or I was just there. She had to search the house looking for me. When she eventually found me, I was not talking. She was talking. I was just looking at her like one in a trance. So that confidence, I did not have it after, what went on. Eventually, she talked to me and she helped me make things
easier for you.
At least our problems are just fear, embarrassment.
Yeah.
What of those who don't even have parents to look up to.
Honestly.
But then I feel as if the most challenging part of menstruation is lack of access to pads. And funny enough, many girls out there lack access to pads. And that's actually very, very challenging, because what will you usually use? No sanitary product to use. What will you usually use? Actually very, very bad.
You know, in many boarding schools, they actually lack access to pad.
Yeah.
You know, they are not staying with their parents. You are in the school with your fellow mates and you don't have this pad. Just imagine using towels or rag. That's very bad. The kind of disease is really, really bad.
You're even talking about the lack of access to pads. Okay, my school now, we have enough pads. Pads.
That's
Enough excess.
Wow.
But then walking up to that nurse or the clinic attendant, ma, please, my
Give me
period does
pads.
not wait for the nurse to be on seat. My period does not wait for the nurse to be on seat before it flows out. That's just the fact about it. Imagine me having heavy flow and then I go to the clinic, nobody's there. If I carry one, they'll say I steal it.
You don't
I
want
don't
anybody to say
understand.
anything bad.
And even talking about, okay, fine. What if I get the pad? Fine and good. But what about the toilet? My space to change.
That's very important.
It's a fact that most toilets, public toilets, are not even convenient for use. How will I even feel like comfortable changing my
That's
pad
a
there?
very big problem.
And these schools, there are some that actually have very good, like top-notch toilets with good drainage and running water. But then they're always placed on lock and key.
Who is using it? What's the need of building it when you are locking
the
it?
schools feel like it's for VIP treatment. Because I know of the Rotary Club, they normally go around and help schools. So they constructed some toilets in some schools, and I can almost beat my chest that to date, that toilet has not been opened after the ceremony. What are they keeping it there for?
And then all this lack of support, all these things that girls face, especially during their first period, they make first period seems harder. Make it more feel more difficult than it actually is. Really speaking.
Well, by sharing our stories today, we are breaking the stigma, and every story shared makes it easier for another girl to feel confident and informed. I will tell my younger self right now, Covenant, relax, okay? Calm down. It's just your sisters. Put the pad. They'll get tired of seeing you put that pad. They'll get tired. Just relax. It's your sisters right here. So what will you tell your younger self?
Me, personally, I would say younger flourish. Mommy don't bite. Don't be scared. Seriously, mommy don't bite. So be bold and then be proud of yourself. Actually have that confidence. Be open. Don't feel as if it's something to be ashamed about. Don't feel scared about it. Be proud and have that confidence in yourself.
Yes. I would tell my younger self that, AK Young, be confident. Don't act like you went through trauma just because of something that is supposed to happen to you naturally. And I also tell other girls out there that this is something we are meant to be open about. We shouldn't be hiding it or feel ashamed to talk about it. We should all stand tall, be bold, because our voices matter, right?
Yes, and I also say to other girls and us that when we start our menstruation, we don't just tell random people. You know the kind of people you tell. So you know the kind of words you accept. You don't just collect every advice. And when you hear this advice, you make research. The internet is not just there for being there. It's there so that you can make use of it. Because knowledge is power.
Yes, definitely.
It's power. So you have to make use of it and know your body. Know what you need. Don't let someone come and tell you that you don't need this, and you just believe like that. Know what you need when you need it.
Yes.
And to other girls like us out there, I will tell you that be bold and be confident in yourself. Menstruation is not dirty. It's not something to hide about. It's not something to be shameful about. Be proud. Have dignity in yourself. It's natural. It's part of life. So don't be afraid to tell a trusted person. Don't be afraid to speak up. Don't be afraid to say it out. Just have confidence in yourself and don't be shy about it.
Flow with confidence. Feel pride in
That's the key. That's the key.
thing.
It is your pride.
It's a natural thing. Thank you. Flow with dignity and be informed. Validate facts. Okay, somebody will just walk up to you. Don't take sugar. Like me. Me, I love sugar. Oh.
Thank
I love
you.
sugar. It just depends on the individual.
Yes, on the
honestly.
body
You
type.
need to understand.
Wow.
People have different triggers. Seriously.
Knowledge indeed is power, as you
Yes.
said. And today we have shared different types of information around this room. Experiences differ. Your first experience is different from mine, and every other person's own is also different. But we have been able to share our experiences and our views, and we hope that other girls out there will be able to stand tall and be proud of their menstrual hygiene.
That's true.
That's it for today's episode of the Red Dot Podcast. A huge thanks to every girl who shared their hashtag FemX stories. To share yours, record a short video of yourself briefly describing your first menstrual experience. Tell us how you felt in the moment and whatever challenges you may have faced. Tag Girls Voices Initiative on the handles showing on the screen and use the hashtag FemX. Periods are natural. They are not dirty, shameful, or a sign that you have done something wrong.
That's
They are a part of life. By breaking the silence, we are making space for dignity. Don't forget to click that like button, share to friends and people who really need to hear this, and smash that subscribe button. Join us next time as we dive into period poverty, access to sanitary products in Nigeria. Until then, remember, your voice matters, your story is powerful, and menstruation is nothing to hide. Bye.
Shame, oh yeah, shine so bright. Period power, own your light. Period power.